competed in men's doubles earlier this week. How was it just to compete and participate in that aesthetic?
Oh, it was incredible. Super fun experience. Just love being out here with the PPA. Masters, beautiful Palm Springs.
We are starting off quickly here on Grandstand. Nice little hands battle to start things off, as it's a side out going the way of Pisnik and Barr.
You know, Tina Pisnik and Pickleball are obviously a really good team. They went on a really hot run in 2024 of getting multiple medals in a row. I think they got bronze medal like three or four tournaments in a row. So, you know, they're really solid. This is anyone's match. Tina Pisnik obviously coming from a really high tennis background.
All four of these players, of course, coming from, talk about tennis background, certainly true of all four of these players, as well as Pickleball playing pro tennis, and Pisnik probably the highest ranked, one of the highest ranked women's doubles players that are former WTA tennis players that we have on the Carvana PPA Tour. We're going to see Barr trying to use his length a lot. So whenever you see Parenteau looking to kind of change direction and go up the line on that dink, he's going to be there trying to earn a lot. Look out for that.
Yeah, Deckel just does a great job at establishing, you know, kitchen presence. With Federico, that's his third time attempting that forehand speed up down the middle. You know, he was successful on the first one. He's a very calculated player.
One of the reasons why he's really risen to the top of the sport for the past year.
Tina Pisnik showing her great hand speed, just control of the point. She wasn't fully at the kitchen yet. She just reset really beautifully, getting herself neutral.
1-0-1.
Huge serve by Tina Pisnik.
Bit of an awkward bounce there. Staksrud unhappy with that.
I mean, you know, just really great sequence there. I think both of these women are super solid and consistent, that neither one of them make a lot of errors. It's really just going to boil down to who can generate the most amount of offense at the kitchen line.
Right now, that has been Barr and Pisnik. On the previous point, we saw Barr doing a really nice job sliding left as he hit that forehand counter.
Yeah.
Talk about sliding right a lot on the right side when he hitting backhand counters, but Barr, really nice job there. And a 4-0 advantage for the 6 seeds.
Great get by Catherine. I don't hate that speed up by Deckel. That was cross body. Tina was on that. Really good shot by Fetty, a good counter.
And that big serve from Pickleball, second return error we've gotten from Staksrud in this game.
You know, where a big serve really becomes helpful in doubles, especially mixed doubles, is when you're unwinding the stack.
Kind of explain for the viewers back home kind of what that means and how it can be difficult to return that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not that it's necessarily just difficult to return it. It's just it opens up a lot of the court. When you're unwinding the stack and you're at an odd number, having a big serve can be advantageous for you because you can apply a lot of pressure while your opponents are getting to their spots.
Another return error here.
Oh, it hit the bar, so it's a redo.
Yeah, just look, the great spin. Even if it didn't have the result they wanted, just what a shot there from Staksrud. We will redo it here.
Great get by Tina Pisnik.
And unable to keep it in. But we are seeing a lot of big serves from Deckel, a lot of drives from Deckel as well. Looks like they're happy to just try and drive it. They've gotten a lot of errors off that. Interested to see if that's going to continue.
I think here in game one, it's working. So far, so good. Uncharacteristic miss by Catherine. She's just very solid. It's, you know, not something you're going to see often from her.
0-7-2.
We were talking about unwinding earlier, Will, and how, you know, you noticed in this scenario, Federico was serving the ball to Tina, and they decided not to unwind the stack, right? So, because it can be so difficult, and Federico obviously being a really great singles player, he has the ability to drive the ball really well.
It's a great point. It's kind of about, you know, risk reward of, you know, wanting to have the players in their usual positions with Deckel on the left and Tina on the right, but also understanding how difficult it can be to get to those positions off the serve.
Yep.
That lob, not quite deep enough there from Deckel Bar.
7-0-2.
Staksrud able to get that one comfortably.
Eagle vision by Tina Pisnik.
It's like she can see 2 seconds into the future when she makes that move to get out of the way.
8-0-2.
8-0 here. And one thing to note here is that for the past 2 matches for Pisnik and Bar, they've actually dropped the first game. So for them to be in this position here in this matchup is actually huge, because it just shows perhaps a mental adjustment for them to get off to a good start here in the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. Well said.
1-8-1. Second serve.
Federico and Catherine just having a little bit of trouble getting into some rhythm, but I do believe they'll find it. Wow.
Tina Pisnik there with the block. Staksrud trying to force the issue with the Ernie, but brick wall. It's Tina Pisnik right now on that right side.
8-1-1.
Great move by Federico.
8-1-2.
And the lob gets it done that time from Deckel Bar. Kind of changed the whole structure of that point. Really got Parenteau and Staksrud on defense, push them off the kitchen line.
Yeah, I think it's really important to disrupt the patterns. I think it's so easy to fall into a pattern of dinking, resetting, of just like allowing your opponents to create, you know, momentum. And so disrupting the pattern, keeping things fresh and new, keeping them thinking is going to be really important. He's throwing a lob up there, you know, obviously, you know, a lot of them are really comfortable dinking, and that's really a smart move by Deckel Bar. He's playing really well.
Second serve.
Good hand.
1-9-2.
No.
Side out.
And again, not unwinding the stack there. They get a missed third shot. 9-1 for Pisnik and Bar.
Second serve. 9-1-2.
Come on.
Pickleball just all over the court right now, Nick.
I mean, he's just playing exceptionally well. He's playing super big, super decisive, very loose.
Brings up game point for the 6 seeds at 10-1. And finished in style with the Ernie from Pickleball. What a start to this match for Tina Pisnik and Pickleball. 11-1 over Catherine Parenteau and Federico Staksrud. Game 1 in the books. We'll have game 2 coming at you after this.
The Zimmer Biomet Masters.
Here in some of the patterns in the match. A new start here at 0-0. We'll see if that helps them even just have some more confidence coming into a game 1, a clean slate.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about Catherine is that she just never gets rattled. She doesn't seem, she's just so composed. So I love that little hop by Federico. Great footwork and attack, cross-bodied, Deckel's left shoulder.
0-0-1. Point.
And already a better start here for Parenteau and Staksrud.
And see, they're playing a little bit more aggressively, you know.
Right.
I think that's going to work for them.
1-0-1.
Yeah.
Staksrud standing tall in the middle.
Fired up.
And that's what they need. They need that energy after how poorly game 1 went. I mean,
Yes, yes. It's
that
true.
is a true statement.
It's very true.
And the start they were looking for here.
Wow, Deckel bar.
On his back foot there, finds it up the line.
I mean, all you can do, you know, Federico did all he could in that point.
It's amazing defense.
Yep.
Federico
Wow.
Staksrud falling down in the middle of that point, but certainly not staying down. Finishes it with the backhand. And just what a point. Just the wherewithal to get back into the swing of that point after taking a tumble.
Yeah, it's just a, you know, really athletic move, I guess. You know, you fall down, get back up, stay focused, finish the point, play aggressive, still play loose.
It's a metaphor for life too, Nick.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a lesson in there.
Let's go.
And everything going the way of the 4 seeds.
I mean, so much of it is just composure and belief and confidence and just playing loose.
I think Staksrud playing a little bit more freely, looking to take a little bit more space in the middle as well.
Yeah, you see, he's going for more. You can tell in this match, in this game. It's working.
0-4-1. Point.
The drive forcing the error from Parenteau on the 4th shot.
1-4-1.
Great close by Deckel bar. Huge setup by Tina Pisnik. I mean, she's, you know, Tina Pisnik, I don't know if you guys know this, but she had this really, really traumatic car crash. She broke her neck, ended her tennis career. And now she is back like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
What a simile there, Nick Black. Wow.
Yes.
All right.
She is back in action.
And has certainly become one of the top players in the game of pickleball. And Barr finds it through the middle. All of a sudden, it is a 1-point deficit, or excuse me, tied up at 4.
Tied up at 4. Let's go.
And still on a 1 for Pisnik and Barr. And still on a 1 here. 5-4, 5 in a row here, Nick.
Yeah, great job by Federico.
Kind of taking over.
Just taking
that
over.
point.
Yes, yes, yes.
You have to think anytime you get any one of these players gets a ball above shoulder height, it's going to be super hard to get it back in play.
Yeah, it's very hard. Just a full overhead.
That's the second time we've seen Staksrud just hit the top of the hook to get back in this match.
Yes. You know, this is certainly anyone's match still. I mean, Federico is a grinder. He has incredible mental toughness, as does Catherine Parenteau.
And Barr sprays that third and gives the serve back to Staksrud and Parenteau. So definitely a chance right here.
Come on.
Barr doing a nice job of covering that line as Parenteau goes for the speed up.
4-6-2. Side out.
And Barr with the speed up off the bounce there. And I think one thing we could see from Parenteau is not necessarily trying to speed up down the line, but potentially just trying to dink it out wide to pull Barr away from the middle, just because he has been having such a commanding presence in the middle, especially in these dink rallies.
You know, you see there, you see Tina just dropped a, I completely agree with you. You know, he's doing such a great job at being assertive when he's in front of the girl, in front of Catherine Parenteau. And Tina does such a great job at just getting out of the way. You know, she slides so well with Deckel. It's almost like they're just attached to each other. You know, she knows when he's going to Ernie. She knows when he's not going to Ernie. She knows when to take a ball. She knows when to drive. They have great chemistry out there. A reason why they're looking at a possible semifinal appearance. So you see there that pattern for them, you know, Federico and Catherine really works. Catherine dinking cross court with Tina, Federico able to find his opportunities to attack and generate some offense for them. And then, you know, Deckel obviously trying to disrupt that pattern.
Again, Deckel's length there just kind of making it even difficult for Staksrud and Parenteau to get up to the kitchen line. It makes it so hard to get that third or fifth shot to drop in the kitchen.
It's so true.
So he'll just take it out of the air.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of that right there, what we just witnessed. I mean, I think it's important for Federico to utilize his ability to drive the ball and keep driving super hard at, you know, Tina and Deckel just picking good spots and playing a little bit of a faster game. Wow, there it is. You can see there, he's finding his rhythm now.
What a spot there from Staksrud, just stays inside the sideline.
Yeah.
Pulls within one. We are seeing a faster pace of play here, Nick.
Yeah, I think Federico's such a great thinker out there. There's no real reason for him to slow down.
You.
And the extended dink rally there with Pisnik on the left goes the way of looking to send this match to 3 games.
7-7-2.
Let's go.
Timeout.
Missed drop out of the timeout. Not what you like to see, but it's, if you're Pisnik and Bar who called that timeout, you do love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Federico there, I'd just run around on my forehand and just rip a drive. You know, Tina's coming into transition zone, try to just take a little 60% hybrid drive, get a little pop-up or something. Play that point very fast and aggressive.
And a big block in the middle of that from Parenteau. Bar tried to speed up, but Parenteau sliding with that two-handed backhand counter.
Shows you one of the reasons why she's one of the best. You know, this team here, Federico and Catherine, they have such grit, such determination, such tenacity where, you know, they can almost be down, you know, 10-0 and they're not out, you know what I mean? They're still in it. They just never look defeated out there.
Come on.
That's just a great move by Pickleball. Just, you know, cutting that angle off, you know, applying just as much pressure as possible at the kitchen line, not allowing them to come in.
You.
Staksrud in the middle there, finishes it with the forehand, the lead back on the side of the number 4 seeds. Staksrud looks back at the baseline, not sure if that one was going to go long. What do you think, Nick?
I don't know. I think that was a respect shot that Federico gave to Deckel. Just hit that out of respect.
Come on.
It's just a great ball by Pickleball. You know, you take that pattern, you know, dinking, and then go straight at Federico. I mean, that's good. It's so low, it looks almost like it's unattackable, but
right.
For him, it is just because he's just so good at using his length.
8-8-1.
And it was an incredible get from Staksrud off of the drive from Bar.
Yeah, I love the placement from Federico. You know, Deckel had to come way over to the right, just put the ball on the right side of the court.
It's a few missed thirds we've gotten out of Pisnik and Bar. Maybe feeling the pressure here.
Yeah.
As the serve goes back to Staksrud and Parenteau, 8-all. I think this is more in line of what we were expecting to see coming into this match instead of what we saw in the first game.
Such high quality dinks. Oh my gosh, what a point!
To defense.
Defense wins championships, Will.
We are seeing that right here. Pisnik and Barr, just when you thought that Staksrud was going to finish it, they stay alive.
8-2.
You. Come on! Come on!
Deckel just taking advantage of a dink that wasn't high, but just a little, just high enough for Barr to be offensive with.
I mean, I think if I'm Catherine and if I'm Fed right now, my thought is taking those thirds and driving them at Tina to just try to generate some sort of offense or try to drive behind Deckel, keeping Deckel a little honest because he's just finding that forehand way too much. I would love to see Federico get into a dinking pattern with Deckel because Federico's such a great dinker.
Right.
And we have a timeout, offensive timeout. Both of them having really, really good chance to make it all the way to the finals.
And the end ruling will stand, so now second serve coming up for Pisnik and Barr. Still 8-all.
Time in, 8-8-2.
That one just misses there from Barr. We see him slide over and try and be aggressive there.
8-8-1. Point.
There's that drive you talked about, Nick.
Yeah, I think the drive's going to be working. You know, you're just going to get an easier third. They're establishing such great presence at the kitchen line, making it so difficult to come in to the kitchen. So driving the third gives you an easier fifth ball to drop in. It's an unfortunate miss by Catherine, but ultimately that's really what you want, so that you can work the point enough, find your opportunity to attack.
Yeah.
Right out.
And now, interestingly enough, Staksrud and Parenteau are on an odd number. So that point you made earlier, Nick, about the difficulties of unwinding the stack, especially against a big server like Deckel Barr specifically. We'll see if they choose to unwind here, which they do.
You. You.
Yeah. Second serve.
And that stays in.
Stays in.
Looked like it was in danger of going long, but does stay inside the baseline.
8-9-2.
Wow, great
sequence.
Great flick.
Just kept it shallow enough as to where he didn't overhit it. Didn't overhit it as well, just went for 60% there.
You.
Point.
Missed dink from Pisnik makes it game point now to send this one to a third.
10-8-1. Second serve. Game point.
I think the drives are really working
For Staksrud and Parenteau.
for Staksrud and Parenteau. Yep.
To your point, right on cue, Nick. Catherine Parenteau, Federico Staksrud force a decider here on Grand. Third shot drives. What do you expect to see here in game 3?
I mean, I'm hoping to see more of that on Federico and Catherine's side, and on Deckel's side, Deckel and Tina's side. I think Deckel needs to just continue to play big. You know, obviously you exert a lot of energy playing a big left side, but I think it's in the budget.
Great hands there from Deckelbar to stay in that rally. One thing to note here, it is game 3. Teams will switch sides at 6.
Oh for 2, I think, on that.
He had one that worked in the opening game. But,
Yes. That was although that was on Catherine's side.
That was
Yeah,
on
he lobbed
Catherine's,
Catherine, yes.
Yep. Great point. Keeping me honest, Nick. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, this is... Oh my gosh, Tina Pisnik with one of the most difficult Ernie executions I've ever seen in my life.
What an angle there on the shot, and forces the miss from Parenteau.
That was amazing. She just flicked it straight to Catherine.
And we haven't seen her do that. I think it's the first Ernie we've seen her hit in this match. And Staksrud questioning whether
Are you sure?
she crossed the plane of the net, trying to challenge, but I think it is a little bit too late, and that's what the referee is telling him.
That's interesting, Will. I thought I was told at one point that the players are now allowed to cross the plane of the net without making contact with the ball.
Well, it's interesting too because she did make contact with the ball. So either way, no challenge to be had. We'll see if we can figure out what Staksrud was questioning if we talk to him later.
Point.
So their whole body has to pass the plane of the net as opposed to just a paddle.
Gotcha. So that makes it, and there's no way that Pisnik passed.
Right, so it makes it
her
even
whole
less
body
likely. Yes,
Right.
correct.
0-1. Second serve.
I think that's in the budget for Federico. I think you have to go for that. I don't think that's a bad shot at all.
0-2. Point.
Especially if you're going to serve like that and get a missed return out of it as well.
1-2.
No. Yeah.
Point.
And there's that kind of fast-paced play that you said you wanted to see out of Fed and Catherine.
I think it helps a lot if they're going to want to generate some offense on the serve. You just serve big, drive, apply pressure. See, they're getting a lot of looks that way.
Again, a big serve gets a shorter return, and that really set up the whole offensive ability for them in that point.
Yes, and if I was Deckel and Tina, I'd probably call a timeout.
Point.
4 quick points for the number 4 seeds.
Yeah.
And
We talked about that a little bit, Will, of how it'd be important for them to pick up the pace. They were trying to be a little bit too calculated. Sometimes just driving and crashing works, goes a long way sometimes. Tina with great placement over power.
And I think we are seeing that just throughout this match, we've seen Pisnik and Barr kind of have the advantage in those traditional kitchen line rallies. So to your point, Nick, I think Staksrud and Parenteau, their best chance is going to come, when they're being aggressive from the baseline and from the transition zone off of big serves.
Absolutely.
Watch. Got.
Wow. Catherine Parenteau wrong foots Deckelbar. And it was an amazing defensive point, but you just see there, Barr went a little early trying to poach that from Parenteau, and she read it like a book.
Yeah.
Side out.
Come on.
4-1.
You.
And just what a display from Staksrud running all along the baseline, but Pickleball too powerful when you just give him overheads like that.
Just shows you just how high, you know, how difficult it is. The pickleball has just gotten to the point now where one overhead isn't just going to be a put away now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just these every one of these pros are so athletic. They can move so well, play such great defense. It's what makes it so entertaining.
Now 5-2 after the missed return. And 6-2.
Side switch.
Get the sides. And so in that way, the timeouts aren't necessarily tied to the challenges, because I think a lot at the end of last year, you saw players kind of using challenges in that whole relationship to the timeouts in ways that were not great, because you would just kind of call a challenge just to get another timeout.
Right, yeah. Now you have to be more calculated. You don't really get away with that anymore.
Right.
7-2-2.
Little neck cord love, Masters love for Federico.
Everything going the way of the 4 seeds. And now this is where I would expect a timeout from Pisnik and Barr, but
8-2-2.
8-2 now.
Come on, come on.
Side out.
And a big side out there. Not completely out of it, but a lot of work to do here to get back to even.
You know, they went on a 6-0 run in game 2. They can definitely do it again.
8-1.
Mental toughness and grit is going to be a big factor. Catherine showing you why she's a vet of the sport, going behind Deckel. It's so important to keep the guy honest in mixed doubles. You know, Deckel's been cheating middle, you know, this whole match. So she said, "Hey, get on your side, buddy."
What a drop from Tina Pisnik.
That was just a nasty drop, nasty good drop. It was just ridiculous. So good.
Just the slice barely going over the net.
Side out.
That serve was a little long. I think you're down 3-8. It's in the budget. You just go for it.
100%. Maybe not really a tiny gust of wind, I think, right in the middle of that rally that may have pushed that ball so it didn't go over the net.
Come on, come on.
Side out.
Deckel Barr wants this. Both these teams,
3-8-1.
they're playing really high level pickleball. Yes.
Second serve.
And again, we saw a lot of drives from Barr in the first game, had some success trying to dial that in again here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important for them to score some points here in this possession.
There's some net love of his own for Mr. Deckel Barr.
Net love, the pickle gods, they work it out.
The
They
great
work it all out. The
equalizer.
great equalizer. Yes.
You hope.
The Carvana net, Selkirk net.
Yep. And Barr is there, but just sends it long. Staksrud doing a nice job. That drop volley can be a risky shot, but it was executed well enough as to where Barr was not able to keep it in.
Yeah, well said. Great shot by Tina Pisnik. I love the drop volley by Deckel, just conceding, saying, "Catherine, that's just too good. You can come in."
8-4-2.
ATP, well executed.
Oh, what a return by Deckel Barr. That ball just pulled Federico out so wide. Made him have to decide which court to cover.
Perhaps most importantly, kept it away from his forehand because he's a lot less likely to drive off of his backhand.
Second serve.
Yeah, and he had an opportunity to capitalize there. He was set up pretty well, just couldn't finish. And against a team like Catherine and Federico, those kinds of errors are, they can make you pay for those.
And just too much pressure there from Deckelbar, but the defense appropriately getting applauded here from the crowd on grandstand. Just the fight and grit from Staksrud and Parenteau. But
Yeah,
too
they
much
played really great
Bar.
defense.
Slowly creeping in here.
It looked like Tina was getting ready to take one of those balls at one point, and then she said no.
Like, no,
yeah.
no. It's a business decision there, and the correct one.
And the correct one, yeah. Defense is also incredible. I think if I'm Deckelbar and I'm trying to come back, I'm trying to serve really big here right out the gate and drive the third. The service fault.
Speaking of the serve, does get called for a service fault. You get one free fault. If he gets called again, it's a or one free warning. If he gets called again, it's a service fault.
God, it's service warning.
Saw that happen to Tyson McGuffin earlier in his singles match. Ended up getting called for a service fault because he had 2 warnings on the serve.
No, come on, come on.
I think that was a really good decision. Federico was sort of shifting his body weight towards the center, and Deckel noticed that and went behind him.
8-6-2.
No, come on.
That's the first time today we've seen Staksrud opt to go with the backhand drive. I personally, I like the decision just of where we're at in the game. Just doesn't pay off.
Yeah. Wow, great move, Federico.
Just the lateral movement. I think people don't realize just the flexibility it takes to really make that movement look so easy.
You. Come on.
And just the hands.
Yeah, that's just really impressive.
Such fast hands, and you see Bar the first one to be able to get the ball down, and that allowed him to finish the hands battle. They're within 1 now. Staksrud goes behind Bar because he's so far in the middle. And one thing you mentioned the forehand dinking battle between Parenteau and Pisnik. One thing that's interesting is Pisnik using a lot of cut slice dinks, whereas Parenteau on the forehand uses a lot of topspin. Just very interesting dynamic for that rally specifically.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes Tina so comfortable. I think just because her game is naturally a slice game. So, you know, you're adding backspin to, you're adding topspin to Catherine's you're adding backspin to Catherine's topspin, right? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, you're adding, yes.
Correct. So, I mean, it just adds tons of spin on the ball and allows you to, if you're going to attack the ball, attack with topspin, and it usually goes in as long as you're hitting down.
The missed return makes it 9-7. Tina Pisnik upset with herself for that one.
You.
And too good there from Staksrud.
Wow, Federico.
sets himself up with the forehand, makes it
Just
match
some
point.
backhand magic.
Backhand magic from the Argentinian. 10-7 match point on a 2. And we'll see if Pisnik tries to return to Parenteau to keep it away from Fed.
Yeah.
On that third shot drive.
You. You.
Neutralized so well.
And that is gonna do it. The attack from Parenteau causes the error, and the 4 seeds overcome a slow start to advance 1-11, 11-8, 11-7 over Tina Pisnik.